What's up, you guys? So last August, I got to go to PAX West in Seattle and get a first-hand scoop at all the coolest new happenings in the gaming scene. So let's go take a look. Of course, taking up massive space in one half of the arch building is the big dog themselves, Nintendo. At that point, they were showing off demos for Pokemon Legends ZA and Kirby Air Riders, both of which were drawing a pretty hefty crowd all 4 days. But something that interested me more was the hefty amount of power they were drawing. I mean, look at this clean run over to the distro box over here. So this distro box is plugging into the wall, taking in probably 100, 200 amps, which is going into a 3-phase camlock system. That's what those 5 colored plugs are on the side, which is more than enough to run all the TVs and consoles they got in the show space over here. I swear I had an electrical layout for the floor plan that showed which one this specific one was, but I can't find it anymore, so I can really only speculate. I'm not much of a power person anyway, but I am a lighting person, so you know I was enjoying all these beautiful lights up here at the top of the show floor. I mean, wow, just look at them. I can't really tell what washes these ones are specifically, but all the spots I saw looked like Mac Quantum Profile spots from Martin. I've never used them before, but they look beautiful. I mean, they got like 700 watt something LED engine. They got a color wheel and CMY color mixing, which means there's lots of options for looks and stuff. Got gobos and prisms and stuff. I mean, man, I'd love to run a show with even a handful of these, but here they're consigned to statically illuminate stuff on the show floor, which is fine, you know. By the way, for those who don't know, spots and washes are 2 types of lights that you see in stage lighting. Spots, or spotlights, are used to illuminate stuff from pretty far away in a narrow focus, whereas washes are meant to like wash a space in a lot of colors, so they have a much wider range that they hit. So usually pretty much any kind of live event you'll see some mix of the two. I couldn't really tell what spot this was. It looks like some kind of elation spot. Let me know in the comments if you recognize it. Now, most of the washes on the show floor were static, but these guys over at the Bandai Namco booth were giving a little pan-tilt dance party to anyone walking by, which makes sense because this is actually one of the entrances to the show floor, so you'd want it to be a little flashy, right? Great colors on these. I mean, just look at that. They also got these really nice LED pixel bars. No idea what brand they are, but they're doing a very tasteful 2-color chase that really complements the whole static red look really nicely. Now, I will say, kind of sloppy focus on the sign over here, but maybe something moved at the last minute. Can't be too hard on them. These things happen, you know. Now, one of the main events over the weekend was, of course, the PAX Arena, which hosted a variety of events as well as a multi-day Tekken 8 event with over 200 entrants. This guy was in top 8, who cares? The whole thing took place on this really modest but very effective stage setup. You got your 4 different LED screens, got like 14 washes, and then these 2 truss towers with these very nice pixel bars on them. Here you can see that the panels are back mounted to some towers, while these ones up at the top are hung from a length of truss. Pretty standard stuff. In case you've never seen LED screens before, or the back of them, this is how they work. They're actually just a bunch of panels that you kind of like affix to each other in any sort of configuration or angle or arrangement you want, and then you send all the data, you link them all together, you send the data to a processor, and then the processor goes to whatever your computer is, and then you got a bunch of little screens. It's really cool. Now, I'm no sound guy, but these do look like JBL SRX 900 arrays. I see these a lot, so they must be good. Array speakers like this are aimed in such a way to push sound out pretty far. You'll usually see huge stacks of them, like in stadiums and really big concert halls and the like, but you don't need that many in a space like this. I mean, even this many is overkill, but more is always better. You want to have a lot of headroom because you can always turn speakers down, but you can't turn them up. You know what I mean? I'm not a sound guy. Oh, it looks like they got a little hazer back here too, like a little fog machine. Pretty localized, but it's very important to get that nice beam effect on all these lights over the stage. Now, these pixel bars are very nice. I don't know what brand they are. Pixel bars, as the name implies, it's a bar that has a bunch of bright LEDs on the front that act as pixels. So you can assign different profiles with different resolutions. These look like they might be like a 16 pixel profile, maybe 24 or 32, but the diffuser panel on the front is making that really smooth gradient even on smaller resolutions, like you can see with this really nice blue-green sign effect here. And of course, Gotta have your Licos, sometimes called Source 4s. It's the name of the lamp that they usually use, but these ones look like they're just LED. These guys have one job, and it's just lighting stuff up from a long ways away. Very straightforward. Looks like these ones are DMX'd in, so you can control their brightness from a lighting console. And the tower itself has a truss warmer. Nice touch. It's the little things that go a long way, you know? Naturally, because I'm a weirdo, I had to snoop over the lighting operator's shoulder to see what he was working with and did not recognize this console at all. Turns out it is a ChamSys Magic Q console and an accessory board that gives him access to more faders. I've never touched ChamSys software in my life, but I'm sure it works just fine. My back of the napkin math would say that he's probably working with like 2 universes worth of lights with this setup, and the pixel bars are probably taking up the most of it, but you obviously don't need to go that crazy, so this is like a perfect setup for this kind of venue. Now you might be asking, what do I mean when I say universe? I'm so glad you asked. So stage lighting uses a data protocol called DMX512, which gives you 512 channels that can range from 0 to 255. Every light uses a certain number of channels to operate. For instance, a light like this uses individual channels for panning, tilting, dimmer, RGB values for its color, and so on and so forth. So every light takes up a certain number of channels in a configuration and are individually addressed so that your lighting system knows which one is which. Now, for reasons I'm not smart enough to explain, a major limitation of DMX is that the 512 channels is a hard limit. If you need to control more lights than that, they have to be looped into a new chain of lights that are controlled independently. Each group of 512 channels, rather charmingly, is referred to as a universe. So most shows like this have to control multiple universes worth of lights, which is fine because lighting consoles can handle hundreds of universes at a time with the right networking. Cool stuff. Now this might be one of my favorite things I saw the whole weekend on the show floor, and that is this bad boy way out here illuminating this sign. I mean, what on earth? So this is another Lico. It's clamped onto a pipe, and then the pipe is looped into a span set that seemingly goes straight up to the ceiling. Isn't that nuts? It's totally safe, absolutely nothing wrong with it, but it's basically like hanging a light on some monkey bars. It's amazing it doesn't swing around at all. I have never seen anything like that. You might be asking why they didn't just hang it in a more stable spot and point it at the sign, but the problem comes with focusing the light. So a standard Lico shines a circle of light, which means if you point it at an angle, you're going to get an oval. Now, Licos do have shutters that can adjust the shape of the light they shine, but I can guess that having the light at too severe an angle might have some bad coverage even with the shutters adjusted. So the obvious solution, just move the light to be level with the sign. Brilliant. I have to imagine this is standard practice in convention centers, but I have never encountered... Yo, what the fuck? Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see what the next PAX has in store for us, and I hope to see you all there. Till then, have a good one.